hold the crowds.
Hey guys, we
What
are
is up?
should be live. Hopefully we are live. We will start in a couple of minutes. We'll just wait for some people to come in. Today is a very hot
Chennai day.
day in Chennai. It was very hot in the stadium. Yeah, it was hot.
It was like it was a proper humid, hot Chennai day, and like no, there was no respite at all, and like especially for the players, I think this is pretty bad. Like we were going in every possible break to go and get drinks or
That's
juice
true.
or something.
That's
So you can imagine the players' condition.
You know, like couple of observations, especially when the Indian fielders were fielding. Like, so every corner of the pitch, if you want to call it that, had like this Indian team staff just hydrating the Indian players, regardless of if you were a bowler or if you were a fielder, just making sure they're hydrated. And something else that Praatibh pointed out is every time the ball goes to the boundary, the fielders don't really have to go to the boundary to get the ball. The staff members just throw it, and it's not like that for Bangladesh. It's just those little things. I mean, it saves energy. The sun is beating down, so it helps. All of this helps in one way or the other. Hi Vignesh. Hi Vasudevan. Hi. Again, so do you want to start?
Yeah, I think we should be good to start.
Alright, so if this is your first time joining the stream, we have couple of segments. We have play of the day, we have statistics for the day, we have letdowns, we have things that players or the moments that let us down. We have turning points, something that turned the match, not drastically, but made an impact, a huge impact on the day. And is that it? And summary.
Summary,
What happened?
obviously.
Yeah, so we'll start off with the summary first, a short, brief summary, and then.
Cool. So, I mean, India picked up overnight. They came into bat today, Aswin and Jadeja. Not troubling the scorers too much. Both of them went early. India eventually wrapped up for 376 all out in 91 overs. Just played 11 overs this morning. And then Bangladesh was in to bat.
Something that we actually spoke about yesterday, how the India batters will have to be a little cautious today morning. But it's fine. I mean, Jadeja and Ashwin did the job.
I mean, Akashdeep did come in and hit those 2-3 boundaries, which was nice to watch. Entertaining from a crowd point of view. But yeah, India wrapped up fairly early, and then Bangladesh also wrapped up pretty early, just getting 149 in their 47.1 overs. Obviously, we'll get into like the bowlers and everything. And yeah, India also got to bat after that, losing 3 wickets, which was very disappointing. 81 for 3, they end the day on in 23 overs. But yeah, that's like a summary of it, and yeah, I think we can probably get into it.
Yeah, of course. So we'll start. So Bangladesh only staying in for 1.5 sessions. I mean, they batted only for 1.5 sessions, which was quite. I mean, I thought it was okay because of how the Indian bowlers were going at it. We'll start off with play of the day, even though we have a criticism like for him. Play of the day is of course Jasprit Bumrah, 4 for 50.
Bumrah 4 for, yeah, it's on the screen.
Oh yeah, it's on the screen. Yeah. 4 wickets. I mean, he bowled fantastic. The whole Indian fast bowling lineup did a fantastic job. Bumrah getting a wicket in the first over, Akashdeep almost being on a hat. I mean, he was on a hat trick. Siraj doing his stuff with the ball too. Spinners didn't get a lot of wickets, even though Jadeja got 2. We'll come to that also. But yeah, fast bowlers, they did their job. And if you observed, you would have observed something that when the Bangladesh fast bowlers were bowling, they were getting a lot of carry. The wicket keeper was collecting it near his shoulders, whereas when the Indian bowlers were bowling, they weren't getting a lot of carry, and that is because Bangladesh have bowlers that hit the deck, whereas Indian bowlers don't really.
I mean, it was more of foolish length. I think it's also about the kind of length that needs to be bowled on the pitch itself. And that also shows in the inexperience of the Bangladesh bowlers and the experience of the Indian bowlers. Where the Indian bowlers straight off the bat knew what kinds of lengths to hit. Obviously, there's a little bit of criticism that we have on Bumrah.
So let's talk about the play of the day, and that's Jasprit Bumrah, like I said. And I think somewhere along in his initial spell after his getting his wicket, he was trying to bowl it a little too full, and on a pitch like this, you don't need to bowl it a little too full. And every time he brought the length a little back, he was getting a wicket. Any fast bowler for that matter, when they pulled the length a little bit back, they were getting a wicket. So I think that's the only criticism per se. I mean, Bumrah did his job, got his 4 wickets, but yeah, I thought that is where he was a bit of like finding his length. And once he found it, every time he found it, in fact, he got a wicket.
And I think in terms of, before we move on to the letdowns itself, just a little more on the bowling. from the spinner's point of view, there was not too much in the pitch to work with. There was a little bit of spin, and the roughs are opening up a bit, so the odd ball was doing a bit. But yeah, still seems a fairly good pitch to bat on. I feel like a lot of Bangladesh batters just did not apply themselves, or also credit to our fast bowlers, obviously.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, like briefly when Liton Das and Shakib Al Hasan were playing the spinners fairly well, it seemed like they would dig in and get a big partnership. And
Before you move on to the before he talks about the letdown, I mean the turning point is what you're going to. You know, so something to observe is when Ashwin bowls negative line, that is when he comes around the wicket to a right-hander. He does this predominantly for two reasons. One, he's tried all his tricks and everything and nothing's worked, so he's coming around the wicket to a right-hander. Or is when the pitch doesn't help spinners as much, and this is when he usually goes around the wicket to a right-hander, bowls negative line, brings the short leg, and sometimes the leg slip. We didn't see a leg slip today, but sometimes a leg slip too. So that's an observation to make. Every time Ashwin comes around the wicket, that's when you know he's a little desperate for wickets and not just doing his regular thing, which is fine. I mean, the pitch wasn't doing much, so I can understand why he was desperate in some sense. But yeah, you were going to talk about the turning point.
Turning points, I think obviously all those wickets that fell were fairly important. All the fast bowlers getting the wickets were important. But when that partnership between Liton and Shakib was getting a little dangerous, I think Jadeja got both of those wickets at the exact right time. And it was a combination of Ashwin and Jadeja bowling fairly well in tandem. Like, they weren't giving away easy runs. Jadeja in his 4 overs at that point had just given away 9 runs. So he was keeping it tight, and I think the couple of previous overs were maidens and like lesser runs given, which obviously built some kind of pressure. And the shots that they got out to were pretty rash. One of them was sweeping, one of them was reverse sweeping. So yeah, I think that was the main turning point, because if those guys gotten, you know, they're experienced and they've also scored runs in the past against India. So I think that's one place that definitely helped India close out that innings.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, getting those wickets and Jadeja doing his thing helped us a lot. Now, from turning points to letdowns, and this was the same letdown as yesterday, and oh my God, like, you cannot stop talking about this. And that is obviously the 3 wickets that fell in the last session. India's top order almost failing once again. Jaiswal getting out to a rash cover drive. See, I mean, Dinesh Karthik talked about this on air. He would have left all those balls in the first innings, but because he has that confidence, he came out playing all those shots in the second innings, threw his bat at so many. He missed a lot, but then finally got an edge. Do I blame him? I don't know. I mean, he's
I don't
a
know.
kid.
I mean, more than him being a kid, India are also up like almost 200 plus. So I think the messaging from the dressing room could have been to just try, go out and play your shots. I don't know if that's something that was actively spoken about, but I mean, there's still, I think, is a fine line between positive intent and just going for everything. Especially because, like, we still have 3 days of Test cricket left.
That's the thing, see, that's the thing. We have so much time left. And we have a disagreement when it comes to Rohit Sharma's dismissal. Because according to me, Rohit Sharma could have left that on length. Jaiswal, something he did so well in the first innings is leaving the ball on length. And we explained that yesterday. And Rohit Sharma, according to me, could have left that on length. He almost got out the same way in the first innings too. He's not poking at it, so that's his defense, but he should have left that on length, like a lot of batters would.
For me, the only reason why I think he couldn't have left it on length is because he never, like, I've never seen him leave the ball on length. And something like this for him to make an adjustment in just less than a day.
Yeah, but
I mean, that's the only thing I think. And like in the first innings, it was slightly fuller, in this it was slightly shorter, which is why maybe he could have left it on length. But these are the kind of dismissals that eventually, like, especially in the case of Rohit Sharma, it's how he's been getting out.
That's true. I mean, this is the kind of way he gets out in Test cricket anyway. And then we saw Virat Kohli get out. Virat Kohli getting out LBW wasn't a shocker. I mean, he getting out LBW to a spinner was fine until we realized that he did get an edge on the bat. For someone who always takes a review, for someone who always, regardless of how he's getting out, he takes a review. He didn't take a review this time.
And it was not out. I think it's a thing, right? It's about your frame of mind. Kohli's probably like, I don't want to waste the team's review.
And also the fact that he knows that he gets out of spinners a lot anyway. And he's done this before, he's taken a review before, and it's been wasted before. He's done all of this before. And so I think it's because of that also he feels he felt like he couldn't take a review. And now statistics for the day, stats for the day. Do you want to read out the stats?
Very interesting stats. The first one is only the second time that top 4 batters of a team who are playing in a test match are all left-handers. The last time this happened was when the Australian team was here. Again, it was at Chepauk. That time too, they were playing 4 top order left-handers. And yeah, this was back in 2004.
Yeah,
that's the first
20
stats.
years ago this was, coincidentally.
Even yesterday something that was 20 years apart.
Yeah.
Anyways. Secondly, Jasprit Bumrah gets to 400 international wickets. He's the 6th Indian pacer to get there. Hopefully a long way for him to go.
Yep.
But yeah, like to think that he's already at 400 international wickets and that list is excellent. So crazy stuff, man. I mean, let's see what he ends at. But yeah. Lastly, Jaiswal now has completed his innings for the test match. He's played 10 full test matches and he's got 1094 runs in these test matches, which is the highest by an Indian for the first 10 tests. And he's gone ahead of Sunil Gavaskar, who was at 978 runs. So, yeah, way to go, Jaiswal.
Yeah, I mean, it isn't surprising because of the way he's been batting in the last couple of seasons and the way he bats. I mean, he's very attacking when it comes to that. But yeah, this has been for the day. This has been it for the day. But what's it like tomorrow? What are we hoping for tomorrow?
Tomorrow, ideally, as per how test matches go, India should probably bat till tea at least look to bat till then.
My God, yeah.
India have enough runs. I don't think that's an issue. But India will want to reach 350, 400 lead.
India would want the batters to score some runs.
Yeah. It's still a really good batting wicket.
Yeah,
there's no demons or anything.
Yeah, exactly that. Except for a few roughs maybe on the pitch, it's a fantastic batting wicket, and all the commentators were talking about this too. For whatever reason, the batters are finding it so hard to apply themselves. Jaiswal, after the first innings, I think it was today morning or yesterday, I'm not too sure. He was talking about how it's not a difficult pitch to bat on, but if you apply yourself, you will get the score. And I feel like, I mean, I'm not going to talk about the Bangladesh batters, but at least the Indian batters, I don't see them applying themselves. It might be the second innings, you might have a big lead, but still, I mean, you got to score those runs.
Yeah, like I feel tomorrow, especially Pant is there now, and you'll have KL Rahul eventually coming into bat. It's a great opportunity for these guys to just get some big runs under their belt as the home season starts. So,
That's been it for now, but we'll take some of your questions and then we'll see you guys tomorrow. But let's take some of your questions.
Anything on Rohit and Virat dismissal already answered.
Oh yeah, Vignesh Ram talks about Bumrah being expensive. He's talking about expensive in terms of economy, giving away a lot of runs. We spoke about this initially. I mean, we felt like he was bowling a little too full, trying to find his length, and while doing that, he bowled a little too full, gave away those boundaries. And it's okay. I mean, he got 4 wickets. He wasn't bowling loose balls. It's better than bowling short and wide. He was bowling it full, trying to make the ball move. At least that's what I think he was trying to do. I mean, it's fine. It wasn't a 7+ economy. It was still 4-5 runs per over, and that's fine. I mean, it's understandable.
I mean, he got the wickets, so that's what matters at the end of the day. So all right.
Next question: have you got Jaiswal stats versus pace and versus spin? I feel he struggles against express quick.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is very interesting. I'm not too sure we have the stats right now, but we'll look that up. Looking at it, I don't know if he does struggle against express pace.
I mean, these guys, the current Bangladesh lot are pretty fast. I would say he handled them pretty well in the first innings. Doesn't seem to have a particular short ball problem or something of that kind. Doesn't seem to be hurried. So yeah, I mean, it's something we can look at in terms of stats.
If you're talking about how he tries to play the cover drive and misses some, I think that's also because he plays most of his drives on the up. And when you're doing that on pitches that skids and bounces, we've made a video on this previously, you are bound to miss some and bound to also edge some. But yeah, he doesn't seem to have a obvious fast bowling problem per se. We'll take 2 more questions and then make a prediction. Will India win the BGT this time around? We've made a video on this. It's coming out soon. Today actually.
It's coming out today.
So watch out for the new video.
Yeah.
About stopping Akashdeep early. Oh, Jay Surya asked about stopping Akashdeep early, not using him at the best.
I don't know if I agree with that. So the first point is obviously when Akashdeep came in as first change just before lunch, I thought that was a good move. And then about stopping him early, I mean, I don't think there's like a particular reason they would have done that. It's probably just the first test match, you're rotating your bowlers. And maybe you just don't want to tire your bowlers out, especially when your team is already on top.
And something to notice about Rohit Sharma as a captain, you would see him trying to change the field almost every ball. Now, I don't know if bowlers like it. I'm sure they have a whole conversation with it. But Rohit Sharma looks to have constant changes made. He doesn't want things to settle down. With that, I mean, it's the same thing with Akashdeep's spell or even Bumrah's spell for that matter, or even Ashwin. Ashwin got a long spell, but like he wants to make changes every now and then so that things are not stagnant. And I feel like over the years with MS Dhoni, in the past, there was a lot of criticism with things just letting things be and playing it as it is. At least Rohit Sharma is proactive, which is good. And he's not very defensive when it comes to that. So he likes making changes. All that's fine for now. It's only if he becomes erratic of sorts. I mean, we'll come to that when he does stuff like that.
If he does, yeah.
Yeah,
I
if
mean,
he does.
Yeah, it depends. Right now, they're not under any kind of pressure. So it's very easy to make, not very easy, but yeah, it's obviously easier to keep things right. It's when we face pressure is when we'll know Rohit, the captain.
Yeah,
so
that's true. Yeah. We'll take one last question just because it's interesting. Okay, wait. Meher Kapoor asks, yeah, that's the interesting bit. Is there any chance for Shreyas Iyer left? Now, here's the thing. The Dilip Trophy that's going on right now, if you guys aren't following that, please follow the scores and everything. He had a duck out in the first innings. I'm not sure the second innings has started. But at this moment, just because of how Dilip Trophy is going, if he needs to come back, he needs to have a stellar Ranji season. He needs to score a lot of runs in white ball cricket for India when he gets picked. He'll need to perform in the IPL. He'll need to keep performing at a level where he hasn't in the last couple of years for him to come back. Now, it's not done for him in the international circuit because he's still young. He still has a lot of years left. But for him to come back, he'll need to score a lot because you have Sarfaraz Khan waiting in the wings. You have Dhruv Jurel waiting in the wings. I mean, he took a fantastic catch. So if you got to make a change, you can always play him and make him just field while punt is keeping. So there are a lot of players and Baba, Parjit and everything who's waiting in the wings in the Dilip Trophy setup. So there are a lot of people waiting. So you wouldn't want to pick someone who has a short ball problem and isn't scoring runs versus someone who is scoring.
Yeah, plus, in the case of Shreyas Iyer, actually there was a couple of reports around how some BCCI officials also weren't happy with not just his lack of scores in Dilip Trophy, but also the kind of ways in which he was getting out. It's almost like he's kind of throwing away his wicket. We've also spoken about this a lot and at length. So yeah, check out our previous videos for that. But yeah, like Shreyas Iyer right now seems highly unlikely anywhere close to the test setup.
Yeah. That's it for now, lads. We'll come back tomorrow. If you guys are from Chennai and if you guys have any suggestions for where we can go next and record and show you guys around, do let us know. Thank you so much for watching. Like, share and subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, I mean, if the test match ends tomorrow, it's not too bad, but hopefully India's batting for very, very long.
Yeah. And
Thanks so much for watching.
We also have a video coming out
we
in
have
a couple of hours.
Yes.
So yeah, definitely watch that.
Thank you. Peace. Very nice.